Hi everyone, this is Christina and I'm back with my week 7 gastric bypass RNY update. It's been a while since I posted a video and I'll talk about that a little more towards the end of the video, about why it took basically 3 or 4 weeks for me to come back to update. But glad to be back. I guess I will start with my stats. On November 9th, 2016, I had gastric bypass surgery here in Chicago, Illinois at Northwestern Memorial Hospital under Dr. Jeffrey Franza. My highest weight ever recorded was 400 pounds back in May of this year. And when I went in for surgery, I was 372.6. And I believe in my last video for week 3, I was 348.2. And this morning when I stepped on the scale, I was 341.8. And then there's something else, but I guess I'll get to that later. Okay, so what's been happening in the 3 or 4 weeks since I've been gone? Okay. So week 3 was great. I think I lost about 3.8 pounds. And then week 4, 5, and 6, I definitely hit the dreaded 3-week stall. And it was really interesting because around week 4, I was still trying to get my protein in, still trying to get my water in, still trying to kind of get adjusted to how long it takes to do anything. And around the beginning of December, I think it was the first week of December, I went home for the holidays. So I basically spent the month of December back in DC with my family, since I didn't get to go home for Thanksgiving. And so it was just a lot. Like, there was just so much happening. I was going back and forth from DC to Philly and just trying to, like, live your life and go on about your day like you usually would, but still keeping in mind that, hey, I've only had 1 bottle of water, or I've only had, I've only eaten breakfast or whatever. And so it was very easy to kind of fall back into the habits that I had previously, where I could go the whole day and have only eaten maybe 300 calories. Not because, the restriction was so tight, but just because in my day-to-day life, I just always on the go and I'm always doing things that sometimes remembering to eat it just doesn't happen. And so that, if you remember back in my first video, like, that was one of the issues that I was having as far as like why I was gaining so much weight. It's just because I just never ate enough. And it's difficult. It's definitely difficult. And I obviously didn't think that it would magically go away once I had surgery, but I feel like, post-surgery, you're taking it easy, you're not doing too much, so you basically have nothing but time to sit around and like eat and do things. But now that life is kind of picking back up and I'm, I was like looking for a job and doing all these other things, it's like you just fall back into those old habits and I just start forgetting to eat. No matter how many alarms that I set, I'll just click, close and call it a day. So definitely week 4, 5, and 6 were difficult. I mean, they weren't even really frustrating, like, because I knew that sooner or later you're going to hit a stall. Some do it directly after surgery, some do it 3 months down the line. At some point you're going to hit a stall. It's just natural. So definitely part of it was my body just getting acclimated to everything that's going on. But the other part was definitely on me and my fault, because I absolutely was not getting in anywhere close to the amount of water that I needed on a daily basis. And I wasn't dehydrated, but I would probably get around like 34 ounces a day. And like, I'd be like, you know what, that's enough for me. I got other stuff to do. And so I just think over a period of time, your body is just like, listen, we need more. We need more to actually function and to keep things moving the way that they're supposed to. And one of the ways that I was always trying to keep track of how I was doing is I posted something on Instagram where it's like, how well do you know your shit? And it's basically a little infographic that helps you kind of take a look at your bowel movements and use what they look like, you know, the shape, the color, etc., to kind of determine if you're deficient in any nutrients or anything like that. And so I started looking and kind of comparing and contrasting and being like, okay, this is really becoming a problem. Like, I really need to work harder at getting all of my fluids in, at getting my protein in, because this is actually affecting, you know, my bowel movements, how frequent they are and what they look like. And so, you know, before surgery, I went every day, literally every day I went, you know, I had a bowel movement. And then excuse me. And then after surgery, you know, your body's getting acclimated. Then I would go like every 3 or 4 days. And then it got to a point where I was going daily again. And I was like, okay, this is great. Like, it's kind of like back to where it used to be. And then it just stopped. Like, I mean, it didn't completely stop, but it kind of, you know, petered off. Like, I wasn't going as frequently as I, you know, used to. And I need to get that together. And so I was definitely like, this is a problem that I need to figure out. And so, as you know, every morning I would get up and I'd be like, you know, today is the day. I'm going to get my water and let me, you know, start drinking. So again, first thing I do when I get up, drink a bottle of water. And I would do that. And then that would be like the only water I would drink for like the next 6 hours. It's so annoying. And so that was definitely a problem. You know, and I was going to the gym. Like, I was in the gym 3 or 4 times a week. Even though I was in DC, there was a Planet Fitness kind of right up the street from my mom's house. And I was in there. I was hitting that elliptical. I was getting that heart rate going. But I still wasn't consuming the amount of water that I needed. And I felt like that was a key part that caused me to stall, because I was doing everything else right. Everything else right. But the water just was not happening. And so, actually this week, because I just came back to Chicago this week, when I got back, I was like, you know what? There has to be a way to make this easier. And I think part of it is just kind of like your body healing to the point where it's easier to consume water faster. And I feel like I finally reached that point. Like, I can down a bottle of water maybe in like 20 minutes, which is awesome. Where like before it took me so long. And so, and even a protein shake, like I can get those down, you know, in like 15 minutes and go about my day. So I don't feel like I'm sitting here nursing a drink for 4 hours, you know? And so this week has definitely seen a shift or a change, I guess, in my behavior. And in turn, that has, you know, shown up on the scale. I lost my train of thought there. So that's dope. So yeah, this morning I got up at 341.8. But interestingly enough, so like, I want to say an hour after I weighed myself, I had this like really bomb bowel movement. Like, you know, it was one of the good ones, right? And so curiously, I was like, because the scale is right in the bathroom, like right by the toilet. So I like stepped on the scale just to see, and it said 338. Yeah, 338.1, I believe. And I was like, wait a minute. Did I basically have like 3 pounds of shit like in me? Like, I don't know. I just thought it was so funny. And like, I mean, I'm not officially counting it because I did my weigh-in for the day, but I just thought that was really funny. And also, something I guess that's technically good news, but it's kind of annoying. I guess it's like one of the symptoms of PCOS is that your period is like incredibly irregular. And my period has always been irregular. Like, I would spot for like a day or two, but like that would be it. It would never be like a full-on multi-day, you know, period like you usually have. Girl, yesterday, I was like, girl, I did not miss this shit at all. Girl, that period came and I was like, I didn't ask for this. I did not ask for this. This is awful. And I had to like go in the back closet, pull out the tampons. Like, I hadn't used these things in I don't know how long because it was never like so much that I needed one. But I guess we back up in there, which is a good thing. Your body is, doing what it's supposed to do. But I mean, personally, I was fine with them never showing up. So yeah, so that happened and that's going on. So that's dope that I'm still kind of losing, even though it's technically Shark Week or whatever. Um, as far as eating, I've actually been doing pretty good. Yesterday was like, I almost played myself, and I'm going to tell you, I went to like a little corner grocery store or whatever because I had to pick up some stuff because I wanted to make this crock pot dish that I also made on Christmas at my parents' house. And so I needed to pick up like some, boneless chicken breasts and some other stuff. And so at the checkout, they have like all the little stuff. So I bought a Fiber One bar because I was like, do I need more fiber? I feel like I always need more fiber. And it was only 69 cents. And so I picked up that bar and I like ate it as a snack yesterday. And it's only 140 calories. It's the oats and chocolate flavor. So it's 140 calories, and I think it has like 2 grams of protein, like nothing major. But it was so good, you guys. Like, I'm so used to these protein bars that literally taste like trash that I had this fucking Fiber One bar, and I was like, bitch, this might be the move. Like, this shit is good. Okay? And I think it only has like 6 grams of sugar. I don't have the packaging with me anymore, but they had like a multi 30 pack, not a multi, but a mega 30 pack on Amazon for $10. So I definitely bought that because this is definitely going to be a snack that I'm going to keep in my purse, throughout the day or whatever, just in case I'm in between meals or on the go or at work or whatever. And yes, I did say at work because your girl got a job, and I'll talk more about that a little bit later, but yes. So yeah, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, so I made this crock pot meal, and it's dope because it's like this like Mexican chicken thing, and it's basically like you put some chicken breast in there, some salsa, a thing of cream cheese, some shredded cheese, some black beans, and you can put like rice or, corn and all this other stuff in there, and you mix it up. And so I had that, and while I was getting that, I stopped in Dunkin' Donuts and got a small hot chocolate because it was so cold yesterday. Girl, I looked it up on MyFitnessPal when I got home. Bitch, that had 30 grams of sugar and 40 carbs in this little thing. I took 2 swallows and I threw it out. I was like, y'all not getting me, bitch. I'm out here trying to watch these carbs and y'all trying to play me. No, it's not gonna happen. I'm not doing that. I was like, and plus the carbs from that Fiber One bar, which has like 20 carbs in it anyway, it's like, I'm trying to stick under 50 carbs a day. Honestly, under 40 if I can do it. So, no, we're not doing that. We're not playing those games. So, yeah, I definitely tried to play myself yesterday. So, eating out and like all that shit is just not gonna work. Like, give me meat. And that's it. I'm not fucking with these carbs, y'all. I'm not doing it. No. So, other than that, what I've been eating is I still have my tuna creations. Definitely. I made some cloud bread pudding for Christmas. So I was making some cloud bread. And it came out fine, but I don't think I whipped the whites enough because the bread was kind of sunk in the middle. So I was like, okay, this isn't like a big enough piece of bread to like use as a sandwich, but I can still utilize it. So I was like, okay, we need something like kind of sweet as a dessert for Christmas. So what are we going to do? I already made my sugar-free cheesecake, but whatever. I had this bread. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make this bread pudding and see what happens. Y'all, it was so good. And I made this like butterscotch sauce to go on top of it because I wasn't sure how it was gonna work. And I was like, you know what, if it's nasty, I would just smother this shit in some sauce and call it a day, right? So I made this butterscotch sauce and it was so good. And it was sugar free, of course. And but the bread pudding came out good. And God, I'm such a chef now. It's so amazing. I made my barbecue sauce. Everybody was loving it. Can we have this recipe? No, bitch. No, you can't. But if you follow me on Pinterest, it's posted there. So yeah, food has been going really good. I don't feel deprived. I mean, I'm out on the bariatric diet and, everything's cool. I post it actually on Instagram, which if you don't follow me there, I'll put a link down below. I post there multiple times a day or multiple times a week because it's easier than sitting down and actually recording a video. So I'll leave that link down below. But yesterday on Instagram, I did post a picture of the pamphlet. I was going to see if I can grab it, but of the pamphlet that I got for my program at Northwestern about the general bariatric shopping list, because a lot of people are like, oh, well, I'm X amount of weeks out from surgery. Can I have this? And it's like, why didn't your program tell you? Like, what kind of programs are people running these days? Like, they should be giving you all of this information so you don't have these questions. So I posted it there just, as a resource. Of course, everyone's program is different. Everyone's surgeon is different. If you have any major questions, I would consult your surgeon's office. I'm no professional. Don't listen to me at all. But I just posted it there as a resource just in case anyone had any questions. So I think that's everything with the weight loss, I think. I did go on like a 3-mile walk yesterday and I forgot to track it on MyFitnessPal because I usually like to track my routes just in case, you want to do it again. So I'm going to do that actually after I post this. I'm going to go on another walk and get that heart rate pumping. Okay, so yeah, that's everything with weight loss. Now, personal updates. So, excuse me, as I mentioned, I was going back and forth from DC to Philly because I was interviewing for jobs basically. And so I had 3, but I don't count the third one because I had no interest in working there. As soon as I asked them a question and their answer was garbage and I was like, no, this isn't for me. So yeah, I interviewed mainly at 2 places. And the second place that I interviewed was where I really, really, really wanted to work. And so I was like keeping my fingers crossed. This was like the third, in-person interview. I had spoke to the CXO and the design director. And so I was actually coming in to kind of like do a power interview where you meet with tons of different people from the different departments. Like I met with the CEO and the CXO. I met with the design team. I met with their project managers. I met with their developers, and basically, it's a lot, but you have to go through all that. And so I was offered the job a couple weeks ago. I want to say maybe a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago. And I'm so excited. And now it's kind of like, actually, the logistics of moving from Chicago to Philadelphia is like so stressful and so overwhelming. 5.5 years ago when I moved to Chicago, I literally came here with a carry-on and that's it. That's it. And it was so simple. It was so simple. It wasn't stressful. I was crashing with a friend for, a little while because originally I came to Chicago to celebrate my birthday. And I had some friends, in the city. And so I just came to crash for like a week. And, Chicago in the summertime is so fucking amazing. I cannot explain to you. Chicago in the summertime, because the winter is so bad, people really make up for it in the summer. So like in the summertime, there's always so much stuff happening 24 hours a day. It's just so much. And it's amazing. And so when I came here, I was like, oh my God. This is so great. Like, I love this city. And so I decided to move here. And so I found a job on Craigslist. of all places, because I'll get into that later. But I found a job on Craigslist, found an apartment 5.5 years later. Here I am. But now I kind of hate the Midwest. It's so fucking cold here. Girl, I just gotta go. So I went to school in Philly. My best friend lives in Philly. So I'm going back there. And I start my job on the 9th. And so I'm like, okay, I need a place to stay because, like, I love my best friend, but staying with someone for a month is a big deal. It's not like you're coming for the weekend and crashing. And I just, staying with friends long term, it's not always the best thing. And I don't even want to chance it. So I was like, okay, mind you, I still have 3 months left on my lease here in Chicago. So I'm like, okay, I have this job. I started on the 9th. I need to be in Philly. I have to find a place to stay for a month. So I found an Airbnb. I have to pay for that for a month. When you start a job, you don't really get paid for like the first 3 weeks. So ain't no money gonna be coming in. Also, I have to find an apartment of my own there. And then when you find an apartment, you have to pay first, last, and security. That's a lot of money. So I'm like, I'm paying rent here. I'm paying rent there. It's like there's so much that's going on. And I'm just like, this is all happening so fast. Like literally, my first day is January 9th. And I'm like, there's so much that I have to do and just figure out before I get there. Girl, it is a lot. I gotta buy flights and it's exciting, absolutely, but it's also terrifying because, I'm the type of person that, I don't plan things. Things happen and I just go with the flow. But this is just still a lot for me. But I'm happy to say I found an Airbnb, actually like an hour ago. I found an Airbnb, I booked my flight. So all that's taken care of, and it's actually around the corner from my office, so I can just walk to and from every day. I'm in the midst of looking for an apartment, but it's kind of hard when you're not there because you can't really go see them. So I'm like trying to make appointments, but when it comes to renting apartments, like things go so fast that a lot of times, by the time I get back there next week, they might be like, girl, you too late. So who knows? So yeah, and the thing is, like, because I won't be in Chicago, like these follow-up appointments, like I have a follow-up with the medical evaluator on January 6th, and actually January 6th is the day that I fly back to Philly. I don't know. I haven't seen my nutritionist since. Like, I was supposed to meet with her December 15th or 16th, and I was out of town. Her next appointment isn't until February, and I won't be here in February. So, like, I just don't know how all this is going to work out, and they're not really open on the weekend. So, girl, we need to Skype something, girl, because I don't, there's nothing I can do at this point. I'm just trying to do the best that I can with the situation that I'm in. So, I'm gonna definitely reach out and see if they have any, recommendations for bariatricians in the Philadelphia tri-state area. I'll happily set something up over there, but I don't know. I definitely, when it gets to like 3 months, I definitely want to go get my lab work checked out to make sure that, my vitamins and everything else is like working the way it's supposed to. But girl, it's just a lot that's going on. But I'm happy. I'm absolutely happy. I'm ecstatic. I'm so excited. I didn't even mention what I do. I am a graphic designer, interactive designer, web designer, whatever you want to call it. And the new position that I'll be taking is kind of like a hybrid, like director / senior designer type of thing. And I'm so excited. Like, the people that I'm going to be working with, they're so nice and they do amazing stuff and they're so smart. And I don't know. I'm just so excited for this new step in my life. And I think 2017 is going to be a big year for me, not only physically, obviously, but just career-wise, just personally, just everything. And I'm really, really excited to get it started, basically. Okay, it's been 25 minutes, so I'm going to stop rambling. But I did want to update you guys on what's been going on, why I've been away, what the hell happened. So hopefully, I'll be back on track with the Wednesday updates going forward. But it's just everything's been going on, so I haven't really had time to sit down and like get my thoughts together. But thank you everyone for subscribing and for even watching this far. I probably would have cut it off 3 minutes in just because I'm impatient. But I hope to see you all soon. Have a happy and safe New Year's Eve. Please, you guys, if you're going to go out and do something, please be safe. If you're drinking, please make sure you have some sort of designated driver, Uber, Lyft, cabs, whatever you want to do. I want to see everyone alive and well in 2017 so I can continue to follow your journey. So